Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lineup. Got a Father's Day giveaway. Plus, we got a Tarpon Dock seafood giveaway. All kind of stuff going on. Got a special guest here with us and a famous Friday fishing forecast. So let's get started with our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin Road and Highway 77. It's been hot this week, and it's not going to be quite as hot. Instead of being 93, it's going to be 92 today. So we have a cooling trend coming. So the low will be 73. But folks, just be really careful out there if you're working outdoors and all. You don't want to get too hot. This is the time of year that a lot of times it starts happening. Water temperature I'm looking at, it still remains around 82 degrees, which is really good. That's a good warm temperature. Now, take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola Bluntstown, it's looking good. It's gotten up to, it was low, but now it looks like it's going to level off at a 8.3 this morning, 8.3 for the whole weekend, the next 4 or 5 days. So the big river is going to be steady this weekend. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, it sort of spiked out really last night, and today it started dropping a little bit last night, and it's going to drop on down to Saturday. If you're going to be fishing Saturday morning on Choctawhatchee, you're going to be looking at the reading in Caryville at 5.6. Okay, that's our river readings. The Kent Forest Lawn, the tide chart, let's see, it's going to be a high tide today at 12:03 and a low tide at 10:20. All right, and the marine forecast, it's going to be coming out of west at 10 to 15. So it's been coming south-southwest all week. Now it's sort of swept around to the westward motion right there, and we're going to get a pretty strong current still. So all week long, the current's been strong. All right, I just talked to Sea Quarters Marina, and I'm going to give you their report, but they're really catching a lot of fish, and the beauty of fishing down there, they're bringing a snapper and grouper on their trip because the grouper is open down there. So let's go and take our break, and we'll be back in the studio with our guest. Welcome back, and welcome Ronnie Groom.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I called Ronnie yesterday. I expected to find him down in that air-conditioned store, and he was out in the woods. Well, what are you doing out there?
Well, I should have been in that air-conditioned store. It was really hot out there. We were getting some, moving a few tree stands and doing a little mowing and getting things fixed up. Get her done.
Yeah, that's what people we talk about. It's almost year-round. You want to just keep up with it instead of having to do everything right that weekend before hunt season.
There's something to do all the time. Little things that, like you say, you don't want to wait the last minute, and that's a big job if you do.
Yeah.
And you need to get in there and get it done so that you don't have to put up such a racket at the very end, and those deer, you kind of spook them back then.
That's a good point, though. While we're sitting here talking about Father's Day, I was asking what you're going to do, and you're like me, we just, whatever directions they give us,
waiting on orders.
And show up. But I know y'all, a lot of times people wait till the last minute and get presents. You brought a lot of good stuff this morning for ideas for Father's Day, so let's get into that.
All right. For the youngsters that want to get something for Dad and got a kind of limited budget, you can get things like a hat or something like that, and that's always a good thing. And the Dad always appreciates it. You can always use another one. And little emblems that you put on your truck, the Buckmaster emblems there. That's a good item there. Browning makes all of those. Mm-hmm. And for the real dyed-in-the-wool hunter, one of the best things you can do is game cameras. Game cameras are really good, and they're inexpensive. This one, I think, is $69, and they go on up depending on how fancy you want to get. And we also have a camera that you can put on your gun, fix it to your barrel, or fix it on the stabilizer of your bow, and whatever you're pointing at and shooting at, then you're going to get a video of it. So that's a good thing.
And that's a new field. We're going to start getting some really, really nice video from people doing those kind of things.
Another good item is a viewer. This is a viewer you can stick your SD card in.
Okay.
In the woods. You just pull it right out of your camera, stick it in here, and you can view this thing and see what's there, delete them, and put it back in the camera and save you having to go all the way and delete it on a computer or something.
That's cool.
Always a good item is binoculars. If I go to my tree stand in the morning and I forget my binoculars, I will get down and go back to the truck and get them because I got to where I can't hardly hunt without my binoculars.
And what kind of those? The Tosco or
These are Hawks. They're a good brand of binoculars, yeah. Another good item for the hunter is a range finder. You know, particularly if you're a bow hunter, if you misjudge that deer 5 yards, you're gonna miss him if you misjudge the distance. And you know, like yesterday, I was setting up a new tree stand, and I wanted 100 yards from my tree stand to my feeder, so I could take this and get it right on the money.
Okay.
And see how much further down there each item was.
That's a good idea. A lot of people don't have those rangefinders, and they're handy.
You really, I use it all the time. Golfers use them all the time. I understand they outlawed them some places for golfers to use. Yeah. And you know, this is one of the handiest items here, this little bitty flashlight. It's real small. We have just a big variety of them, from big lights to small ones. But you know, I keep a light like this that plugs in and recharges right side of my bed. I keep one in my truck right down on the side of the door. I keep one in my backpack. And I just really believe in these lights. They're just good little lights, and they're bright. And you always need lights. In fact, when I go to the woods, I carry one this size, and I carry one a little larger, because you got to watch these new lights. Sometime when they start to go out, they'll go out just like that. It's not dim, dim, dim. It's just all of a sudden they're gone.
That's a good point. That's happened. You know.
Yeah, so
I need rechargeable batteries. Like I got a rechargeable blower. It doesn't start winding down. It just cuts off.
Just
like
quits.
And,
you know.
Yeah, no warning whatsoever.
I tell these people, if you only got one light and you're out in the woods, you know, looking for a deer or something, that thing starts getting dim, you better turn around and start running back to your truck. Another good item for Father's Day is sunglasses. You know, we carry them from an inexpensive glasses right on up to the very best. And just about every sportsman, if you're a dad, whether you're a sportsman or not, if you go to the football game or whatever, you need a good pair of glasses.
I can't go outside without them. And I found over the years I only lose the expensive ones. I never lose my inexpensive ones.
And the way to find them is buy another pair.
That's right.
And then you'll find them.
That's exactly right.
Another great item for Father's Day is our knives. This is a little bitty Gerber knife right here. It's inexpensive. And, you know, all men just about carry a knife of some type. They're easy to use, and it's very handy. For the hunter, here's a Browning knife right here now. Now, this is a really fine knife. It's got a hook here that you can gut fish or deer with. It's got a real pretty handle on it. It's got a little sheath. And that's
I have that almost exact knife, but it's about 40 years old.
That's an all-around knife. You can use that thing for everything. And if you look right here, this is a Swiss Army knife. Now that thing has got everything in the world on it. It's got scissors, it's got toothpicks, it's got tweezers, it's got screwdrivers, it's got bottle openers, just anything you want. Now this is one of the larger ones, although we have one larger than this. But we also have real small ones too. And you talk about an all-around knife, that's it.
I have two of those. I have one in my truck and one in my house.
Right, I keep one in my toolbox in my truck.
They're good.
And I keep one in my tackle box too, because you can work on your motor or whatever with this thing. It's just so handy.
Sometimes at school, I can't find my scissors, and I'll use my scissors.
Yeah, there's scissors in there.
Just to get something.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's just amazing how many tools are on there. In fact, there's a couple on there that I didn't even get at. But like I say, it's got a toothpick and tweezers and scissors.
I don't use a toothpick a lot, but
no, I don't either. But that's a handy gadget, and it's a good all-around gadget.
And then your duck calls. Everybody wants these.
Duck calls. This right here is a copy of the 1972 Duck Commander duck call.
Commander.
Yeah. This is really a collector item. We got people buying these things that don't even duck hunt.
Oh yeah.
You know,
the
Duck Commander program is so popular now. Comes with a little bag.
And see, that was his first year making them, and that's been a commemorative.
That's just a collector item, right?
Issue. Yeah.
It's really a collector's item.
Very nice.
But we have others too. We got these like this. These are usable. These are not really expensive calls here, but they make good duck calls. Those guys have become millionaires making duck calls.
Who would ever think it?
And last but not least here, let me show you this.
All right.
This is a Duck Commander shirt.
Look at there.
You know, these are popular too.
That's amazing.
The kids love them, you know, and so
do
the adults.
All kids of all ages like them.
My daughter loves Duck Commander. I mean,
mine does too.
They watch them all the time, you know, and it's just a good, healthy family program.
It's just real people.
Yeah, it's hard to find a program like that now that I don't mind my kids watching.
Yeah, that's true. All right, that's a lot of stuff right there. And, you know, today's Friday, so get on down there today, tomorrow, and get a last minute. Now, listen, you're not going to hurt your dad's feelings or your husband's feelings if you get him 2 presents. So you might already have 1 present. You might want to go back and get one of these. Have you ever had your feelings hurt when you get 2 presents for Father's Day?
No. But the very best present is a gift certificate. I'm telling you. Yeah, I don't care what you got. A gift certificate is the very best, and that's what Dad really wants. So if you really want to make him happy, get him something that he can go down and get what he wants. He can put money with it and get something else. You know, it's so easy to make a mistake. If he wants boots, get him the wrong boots. You know, there's 10 companies, 10 sizes. You know, just it's a mess. But a gift certificate will really make him happy.
All right, let's take this break. We'll come back with a Father's Day giveaway. Be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get squared away for our giveaway today. This is a Father's Day giveaway. You know, we did a Mother's Day giveaway. That was a big hit, and we didn't want to leave the dads out. So here's our little package. Of course, a decal from Panhandle Outdoors, a couple of fishing, some DOA lures, and some wave lures, and these are catch fish. And I call it, that color right there is a good color. Okay, that our floating pliers from Berkeley. These are really good. They actually work now. They float.
Yes, sir.
And
those are nice.
They've been very generous.
You know, when I used to dive a lot, we used to find pliers and all kind of stuff people drop overboard, rods and reels.
Yeah. In addition, the Panhandle Outdoors long sleeve shirt right here. Okay,
ooh, that's nice.
That's a nice shirt. People really, and like I said, if you order these online, we about sold out a couple of colors. We have sold out a couple of colors, so we're going to make another order. All right, and the final thing you're going to get, Shakespeare rod and reel combo, okay? That's our Father's Day, so Father's Day giveaway. So Ronnie, I'm going to let you draw, and what we did on Mother's Day, we kept drawing until we got a female. So we got to keep drawing now. If we get a female, we're going to keep drawing until we get a male. So here we go. All right. Slim Tiller, Deer Point Lake. Slim, watch your show every morning. Congratulations, Slim.
Good deal. He made a hit.
Okay. So I tell you what, Slim, you can give me a call. You can come by Fox 28 Studios, or you know where I live. He brought me some stuff by the house before. Good job, Slim. Now, Ronnie, we were talking, you know, before we get back, we got our famous Friday fishing forecast coming up soon, but we talked a lot about fishing, but we do need to touch on the woods. I know you're one of the guys that always 12 months a year, you're doing something in the woods. So this time of year, what are some things you want to do other than just clear? I know you got to clear the limbs and all, but what about other stuff?
You need to go and check your stands. If you leave them up all year, you need to make sure you loosen them up so they don't get too tight and the tree grow into them. You need to make sure that's safe, lubricate them where they need to be, check them for safety. Safety is the most important thing, and one thing I'd really emphasize if you're in the woods right now is to wear your snake boots, because snakes are out moving around and you need to be careful. It's so easy to step into a little pile of leaves or bushes and there's a rattlesnake or a coral snake or a moccasin down there, and you really need to be careful about those snakes. But just check everything you got. Check your feeders, check your batteries. If you got batteries in them now and they're not working, take the batteries out. You know, just make sure everything's in good working condition so that, you know, nothing worse than to anticipate a morning in your stand, the wind's right, everything's right, and you get up there and the feeder doesn't go off, or something wrong with your stand. So just good maintenance is the name of the game right now.
Yeah, and the big thing I always see when I go up to my place, I went up the other day, there's stuff growing, and it starts growing over the road. And I had a log laying right there in the middle of the road. Yeah. And, you know, just a blow down from that storm the other day.
I got a little chainsaw I keep with me, because always logs blowing down, and yesterday we mowed the roads down. You know, the roads are already about 3 foot high in weeds, and that gets in your radiator on your truck and everything. So there's always something to do. So if I don't have something special to do it,
that's good advice.
That's where I do it, go to the woods.
Yeah, because always something to do. But it's fun kind of stuff.
Oh, I enjoy it. I love it.
All right, let's get our Charming Rock Seafood giveaway, okay? We're going to give away, the first one, of course, will be the $20 gift certificate. The second draw will be the red snapper. So, Ronnie, you can draw anybody's name out of this one. This is the $20 gift certificate, and the winner is Chris Carroll from Westville with $20, and I'm going to draw one out.
All right.
I'm going to draw the red snapper, and the winner is Judy Corbin. So we did get a lady win. Judy Corbin, that's the first one I drew out. I had several in there, but Judy Corbin. All right, congratulations to all you winners and all, and run by Tarpon Dock, and I will send your name to them, Chris and Judy, and Slim Tiller. Okay, 3 big winners on Panhandle Outdoors this morning. Now we're going to take our break, and then we're going to come back and set up our famous Friday fishing forecast. All kind of things going on outdoors, and we're going to get on our Google Earth and just show you where some of these places are to catch some fish this weekend. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. Welcome to Tarpon Dock Seafood's famous Friday fishing forecast. And folks, they're catching fish this week, and I didn't know where to get started because so many good reports coming in. But let's go ahead. And I want to start off at Destin. I got a report from folks from here going over to Destin fishing, and really the hottest thing on the boats over there are the beeliners. People are limiting out on the beeliners, but this particular guy was upset because they didn't really get a limit of snapper, but the captain was more concerned. They had 19 people on board. It was like a company trip, 19 people on board, and each person caught 10 beeliners. So they had 190 beeliners, but they didn't really catch enough snapper. But the beeliners are really hot over there in Walton County and Okaloosa County, coming out of Destin there. Okay. Now we're going to go all the way down to Carabel. Okay, let's go all the way down to Carabel. What was fascinating, I just got off the phone before the show started, and they were telling me, I talked to Millard, and he was saying they've had a wonderful week down there. I wrote a lot of it down. See, what they're doing down there, they're catching snapper and grouper, and they're coming back here and to the dock with a limit of snapper and limit of grouper. They're catching some kingfish. They brought in a 36-pound kingfish this week. It was a small boat that caught it, and also they're catching some redfish right outside. I'm going to show you where it's redfish. The FWC checked these people, just checked the license. I saw them catching these big redfish, and actually took pictures of them all catching some nice redfish. Everybody was really happy about that. And what they were doing, let me show you where they're catching them right here. Nice redfish. They were saying coming right out here to the mouth of the river. At FWC, they have some stations up here and all, and they came right in here. They were doing this on a Wednesday morning, catching some nice redfish right in that area right there, okay? Now let's go over, I'm going to do a video shortly, Monday of this week. I had a really good trip down to St. George Island, and I'm going to show you exactly where we were. We caught some really nice fish. Went over here to the state park. Remember, the east end of St. George Island is the state parking over there, and we put in this boat ramp here, fished off this point here. And these points, all these points right here are good fishing on the incoming tide. That tide's coming in, and the fish are concentrating out in here. So off these points, we caught some really nice redfish, and it was stuff we could write home about. Okay, now the surf fishing down. Let's go all the way over to Cape San Blas. The surf fishing Cape San Blas, I checked on it. Really good. It still continues to be good. St. Joe Bay itself. St. Joe Bay has been doing well early in the morning, top water over in these same areas we talk about a lot. Again, we've had some southeast winds, so the water's been fairly choppy, and the folks have been really doing really good. Some kayak fishermen have done well over there. The biggest thing now, I keep getting asked. I bet I've been asked by 5 or 6 different people this week. What's the latest on the scallop count? Well, Sarah and I have been talking about it. She is already in the field, and they're working their way up the coast. They've been around Tampa doing a survey down there. And what they do, they go from one section to another section all over the state, and the last sections they usually do is up here in Bay County and Gulf County on the scallop count. So it'll still be another week or two before we get that scallop count. I know because she's in the field now, she and her crew, but she's going to get with me when they get close to us. And the weather dictates a lot as what they can do and what they schedule. Sometimes the storm down there, they may run up here for a day or two, or vice versa. So anyway, the scallop count is coming, but I can give you some preliminary reports. It's looking from some mullet fishermen throwing a cast net. They're saying they're seeing scallops. That's not scientific and all, but it's a start anyway. All right, let's come here to Bay County. The redfish tournament last week produced a lot of good results. The biggest news right now, we haven't talked about it. I've got some pictures. I don't have time to show them. This week, folks, the flounder guys, they've been really catching some flounder, really gigging some flounder. One guy, I got a picture last night. He went off and got his 10 and brought them back in. That was what he said. The flounder fishing, gigging has been excellent. The flounder have started coming back in. This is June. It's the same pattern I always have. They're coming back in, and some excellent fishing and all. Now, again, the offshore report is still the big thing on offshore coming out here out of the pass and all. They're catching snapper out in here. There are more snapper being caught this week than there were last week, according to reports I've gotten. But the water temperature now is warming up. When we're talking about 93 degrees on air temperature and 82, if you're fishing these flats and all, you're going to have to fish these early in the morning because it's getting too hot in the afternoon to fish these flats. So you really got to do morning fishing in the flats in these areas like this. All over in the West Bay. I got some nice reports over in West Bay, over here at the mouth of Crooked Creek. Now, we haven't talked lately a lot about Burnt Mill Creek and Crooked Creek, but this is the time of year they can produce, but you want to get an early incoming tide right in here, off this flats here. Okay? One of the biggest things, too, I want to get back to the red snapper. Folks are catching more red snapper to the west of us. Now, if you go over to Party Boat and all, you know, they're not going to have time to go all the way down. There's about 20-something miles going west, but there's some good fishing down there. And the black snapper bite has been excellent, black snapper and red snapper. So offshore fishing continues to be really good. I haven't had any reports on tarpon, catching tarpon and all, but I know this is the time of year with right conditions they're going to be catching some tarpon. All right. Now, if you're going to fish this weekend, I'm reluctant to endorse any particular lure or anything. I have a tackle box full and use different colors on different days. And as running a show like this, you sort of have to be careful about just talking about one particular lure. So you don't see me doing a lot of that. But I've had good results this week fishing just different ones and all. But I've used a light color on the bottom and a dark color on the top on a swim bait. And that's what we had good success with, okay? Listen, we're going to start wrapping things up. Check out this report online. Have all of it online. I've got a lot more good stuff, but I just don't have time. And go online to Panhandle Outdoors, okay? I did leave out the big thing on the bite has been really good, but one fisherman told me that he caught a hit between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, okay? Got to get out here. You have a great weekend. And do something good for somebody today. God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.